Magical Tales of Snow White, Rapunzel and Cinderella. Baby Hazel's Bedtime Stories. Step into a world where fairy tales come alive. Where magic whispers through the trees, and courage, love, and kindness light the way. Tonight, we journey through the enchanting bedtime stories of Snow White, Rapunzel, and Cinderella like you've never heard them before. Welcome to English Stories with Sherry, your go-to destination for mastering the English language through captivating stories. Here, we'll guide you through every sentence, ensuring you understand the grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary that will take your English to the next level. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Once upon a time, in a world where dreams were real and magic filled the air, there lived 3 young girls whose kindness, courage, and gentle hearts led them on unforgettable adventures. These are the magical tales of Snow White, Rapunzel, and Cinderella, stories that whisper softly like the wind before sleep and shine like stars above Baby Hazel's bedtime. In the heart of a deep, green forest, where birds sang melodies sweeter than lullabies, a little girl named Snow White was born. Her skin was as pale as snow, her lips red as a rose, and her hair black as ebony. Her beauty was not just on the outside, she had a heart full of kindness and compassion. But not far away, her stepmother, the wicked queen, burned with jealousy. Every day, she looked into her magic mirror and asked, "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And each day, the mirror answered, "You are." Until one day, the mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Enraged, the queen sent Snow White away into the dark forest. Lost and afraid, Snow White stumbled upon a cozy little cottage with 7 tiny beds and 7 tiny chairs. It belonged to the 7 dwarfs, who welcomed her with open arms. Snow White brought joy and laughter into their lives, cooking, cleaning, and singing songs that warmed their hearts. But the queen discovered Snow White was still alive. She disguised herself as an old woman and gave her a poisoned apple. One bite, and Snow White fell into a deep sleep, so deep, it was like she had vanished into a dream. The dwarfs cried and placed her in a glass coffin. Then came a prince, gentle and brave. He had heard tales of the beautiful girl in the woods. When he saw her, he felt something magical stir inside. He kissed her softly, and in that very moment, the spell was broken. Snow White opened her eyes, her heart beating once again. Love had conquered darkness. And Snow White lived happily ever after. Far away, in a tall tower hidden deep in the forest, lived another girl, whose golden hair shimmered like the sun. Her name was Rapunzel. A wicked sorceress had taken her from her parents as a baby and locked her away in a tower with no door and only one window. Each day, the sorceress would call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And Rapunzel, with hair long and strong like silk ropes, would lower it so the sorceress could climb up. Rapunzel spent her days dreaming of the world beyond the tower. She sang songs that floated out into the sky, carried by the wind. One day, a young prince passing by heard her beautiful voice. He followed the melody and saw the tower. Hiding in the bushes, he watched and learned the magic words. When the sorceress was gone, he called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And up he climbed. Rapunzel had never seen anyone like him. They talked for hours, day after day, their hearts growing closer with each visit. But when the sorceress found out, she was furious. She cut Rapunzel's hair and banished her to the desert. The prince, searching for her, was blinded by the sorceress's cruel magic. For years, he wandered alone. Until one day, he heard a song, her song. He followed the voice and found Rapunzel. As she wept, her tears touched his eyes, and miraculously, his sight returned. The two embraced, and with love stronger than any spell, they journeyed home to live in peace and happiness. And in another part of this enchanted world, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Cinderella. She had once known warmth and love, but after her mother's passing, her father remarried a cruel woman with 2 selfish daughters. When her father was gone, Cinderella was left as a servant in her own home. Still, she never lost her hope or kindness. She cleaned, cooked, and helped others, even when no one helped her. One day, an invitation arrived. There would be a royal ball, and every young lady in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella wished she could go, but she had nothing to wear. As her stepsisters mocked her, a gentle fairy godmother appeared. With a flick of her wand, she turned a pumpkin into a sparkling carriage, mice into horses, and gave Cinderella a dress made of dreams. But the magic would only last until midnight. At the ball, the prince was captivated. He danced only with Cinderella. But when the clock struck 12, she fled, leaving behind a single glass slipper. The prince searched every home in the kingdom, determined to find the girl whose foot would fit the slipper. At last, he reached Cinderella's house. The stepsisters tried, but their feet were too big. When Cinderella tried, the slipper fit perfectly. Her dreams had come true. The prince and Cinderella were married, and her days of sorrow were over. She lived with kindness, surrounded by love, proving that patience, grace, and a hopeful heart can light even the darkest path. And so, the magical tales of Snow White, Rapunzel, and Cinderella become lullabies in the world of Baby Hazel's bedtime. As the moonlight dances through the windows and stars twinkle in the night sky, let their stories remind us that magic lives inside every heart that chooses love, courage, and kindness. Sleep tight, little dreamers. The stories will wait for you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to English Stories with Sherry. I hope today's story helped you learn something new and improved your English skills. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that will help you become fluent in English. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next story.